Welcome back to Yogaxpress. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program and have been your host for the last 675 episodes. We are now at 676. We're very fortunate to have an amazing young yoga teacher right here, our guest teacher today, Gina Benson, but I'm going to hold off introducing Gina for just a few seconds. Before we move on, I'd like to acknowledge our amazing crew. Our director, Nuriel Exalazo. Nuriel, I finally have been practicing how to say your last name, so I hope I got that right. Thank you so much for flying solo today. But you're not really flying solo because you have some amazing help from Anna Charles, our facilitator, and our studio manager, Rich. Really appreciate all of you helping out today. We had a difficult start, but we are off now. I also would like to acknowledge we have a guest watching us today. So for your sake, Tony, we are going to do the best we can. Stretch with us. Don't miss this opportunity. Gina Benson. Gina is a yoga teacher who's been teaching for quite some time, but I'm going to have her tell us a little more about herself. And you can find out more about her if you want to get in touch with her. She is on, actually, Gina, you're also on Instagram, right?
Correct.
And what is your Instagram handle?
Yogaveda_NY. That's YOGAVEDA_NY.
Great. So look her up on Instagram. I'm sure she's in all those fancy postures. Just look at her. You just see her here and you know she can do practically anything. But she also has a website, yogavedahealth.com.
Yes. Correct.
So we'll see all of that. You will see all of that on the screen on the bottom left. And as soon as we're able to see the monitor, when our crew gets a moment, they're going to turn the TV monitor on right here in the studios. We can point it out to you from time to time. But please, take the opportunity to look her up. Gina, tell me something. How long have you been teaching?
So I've been teaching since January of 2015, so I'm coming up on 4 years. I love yoga. I was a school teacher.
Right.
And that didn't make my heart sing, yeah. So I decided to take the career path and really dive into yoga, but also Ayurveda.
Right.
And that's where I know you from. So thank you for allowing me to be here for this opportunity.
It's wonderful you were available.
Yes. Fridays are good days.
Where did you train? You don't have to mention schools, but did you do your training in New York City?
I actually did my training in Saratoga Springs, New York, at a studio called Yoga Mandali.
Okay.
It was owned by my godmother at the time, so I was very fortunate to have that opportunity as well. You know, she said, come do the teacher training. I had been spending my summers there taking yoga classes, and I really loved it. It really changed me. It really did still my mind. And she said, why don't you just come and do the teacher training? I really think it would benefit you. And I said, I don't want to teach. I don't know if I'll be a good yoga teacher. And she said, too bad I signed you up, you're doing it. So she kind of just threw me into it. And now I'm here today, 4 years later, and very grateful for that.
And you've been enjoying yourself? You said you've taught children, right? You've been teaching children?
Yeah, so I was a school teacher. I taught 2nd grade for a little bit, and then also 6th grade English.
You should consider teaching yoga to children.
So I do. A lot of my private clients, their children also take yoga with me as well.
Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful. I looked at your website. I actually liked it. It was very simple. It was just one home page, But was there more? Maybe
There's more pages at the top. I don't know. Hopefully it's still working.
Well, you know what? My mistake. I probably didn't look at the others because I was quite fascinated by your homepage. I thought it said quite a bit about you. I liked what I read, and I said, okay, I've got to get this girl on my show. So I met you at the Ayurveda school, which was fortunate because we were actually looking for a guest for today's taping. It was good that you were available, but I'm also thinking... Oh, great. Thank you, Rich. The voice you hear in the background, by the way, is our studio manager, Rich. No, that's perfectly all right. So, Gina, when I saw your website, your homepage, I actually noticed that you had been teaching in a number of different scenarios.
Yes.
So you have private clients.
Correct.
You teach kids.
Yes.
Do you teach in a yoga studio as well?
I teach at a physical therapy center.
Okay.
I used to teach at the studio in Saratoga.
Right.
But now that I'm in New York, most of my business is done through private teaching. But
Nice.
I do teach on Wednesdays at a physical therapy center.
Sometimes it's good to have that independence because if you do go to teach in a yoga studio, for example, I think most studios are pretty gracious about this, but sometimes studios may have their own style, so you don't want to slot yourself. So
Yes.
right now, our TV studio, the TV studio here doesn't have its own style. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Gina, what do you have planned for me today?
So today we're going to just do some light stretching.
Okay.
I definitely want to work on the floor first. Some smooth sun salutations,
Okay.
and then maybe some stretching on the floor.
No fancy stuff. You're
No
not gonna
fancy
make
stuff
me go
today.
upside down.
Nothing
Okay,
upside
I'm
down
ready.
today.
I'm ready. Take it away.
Okay, so close your eyes. Just focus on your natural breath. Allow your belly to inflate and relax as you inhale. And as you exhale, draw your belly button towards your spine and up towards your diaphragm to release all the air from your lungs. Take a few more breaths like this here. And slowly flutter your eyes open to a soft gaze. Drop your chin towards your chest, releasing the back of your neck. You might feel a stretch here from the back of your neck and even into your back body. Keeping your gaze at the floor, release your right ear in front of your right shoulder.
We're talking right? My
Yes,
right? Okay.
right. I know, I'm so used to mirroring, so that's why I had my head to the left. But yeah, you'll drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Feel the stretch here on the side of the left side of your neck. Keep your gaze low as you come back through center. Release your left ear in front of your left shoulder. Return to center. Lift your face. As you inhale, take your hands over your head. Gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, release your left hand to the mat. Inhale and reach through your right fingertips. Exhale, take a side bend to the left. Open your right side body here.
Oh, I feel that.
It's delicious.
It does feel great.
As you inhale, come back through center. And exhale to take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. You can take your left hand to your fingertips and place it behind your left seat. Inhale and sit up tall, extending through the crown of the head. Exhale, draw that belly button towards your spine and twist a little deeper. you'd like to press your right hand to the outside of that left thigh to twist deeper. That'll help the thoracic spine or the upper back to twist towards your left. Inhale, return to center and lift your arms over your head. Exhale, release your right hand to the mat this time. Extend through your left fingertips. Exhale, take a bend to the right. Return to center as you inhale. And as you exhale, take that left hand to the outside of your right knee. Sorry, my directions weren't very clear. Take your right fingertips to the floor behind you, behind your right seat. Sit up tall on the inhale. Exhale, draw the belly button towards your spine and twist to the right. Inhale, return to center. Both hands above your head. Gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, place your palms on the mat and walk your hands forward. Keep your seat on the mat as much as you can and just take a fold here. If you're sitting in Sukhasana like this, you'll feel this stretch in the outside of your hips. And if you have your knees together in Virasana like Banu, you'll find yourself in a child's pose. As you exhale, try to release your forehead to the floor as much as you can. On the inhale, lift the gaze and walk your hands back in line with your shoulders to sit upright. So Banu, since you were with your knees together, I'll have you open your knees and you'll fold back into that. So now you're in a wide-legged child's pose. And if you were sitting in Sukhasana like me, you'll just switch the feet out. So you'll take, if you had your right foot forward, you'll bring the left foot forward and vice versa. So we'll sit up tall. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Relax the forehead towards the mat. On the inhale, lift your gaze. Walk your hands back to sit up. And rock onto your hands and knees. Stack your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. Spread your finger pads wide so that we can alleviate pressure from dumping into the wrists. Sometimes what happens here is we'll just put so much pressure on our wrists it hurts. So it's nice to spread your fingers wide and press into those finger pads. As you inhale, bend your elbows. Draw your shoulder blades together and down the spine as you lift your chest, crown of your head, and tailbone towards the ceiling. Exhale. Press the floor away from you. Take your belly button towards the spine and round your back as you drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale. Lift up for your cow pose. Exhale, round your back for your cat. Keep this slow, fluid movement with your breath. Just bringing some awareness and attention to your spine and its mobility. Inhale, return to a neutral tabletop. If you don't already have your toes tucked under, just tuck your toes under and send your hips back for downward facing dog. You can pedal out the back of your legs, maybe bending one knee, gazing under that armpit, and then bending the opposite knee and gazing under the opposite armpit. stillness in your downward facing dog. Take a long inhale here. And exhale fully. Inhale, lift your right leg behind you. Flex your foot and try to reach your right heel towards the back corner of the room where the ceiling and wall meet. Open your hips to stack them and bend your knee. As you exhale, release the sole of your foot to the mat. Inhale, lift your left leg behind you. Stack your hips, bend your knee. Open up the left hip this time. Release the left foot to the mat. Inhale, roll forward into your plank. Exhale. I know this is you'll lose your shirt if you go upside down for too long. You'll drop to your knees and then bend your elbows as your elbows graze your ribs and come all the way onto your belly softly. So I'm gonna back up here. Keep your hands next to your chest and press the tops of your feet into the floor. Roll your shoulders towards each other and down the spine. Pour your feet and pelvis into the floor as you inhale and lift up through your chest for Bhujangasana or Cobra pose. Exhale, return to your mat. Press your hips back press your seat back to your heels for a brief child's pose. Tuck your toes under, send your hips back for downward facing dog. Bend your knees and walk to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Hang here in a forward fold over your legs. As best as you can, release the crown of your head towards the floor. You can grab opposite elbows here. And just let the head feel heavy. If your hamstrings are really, really tight and the back of your legs hurt, it's okay to bend your knees deeply and hang like this. If you have maximum flexibility without feeling the stretching behind the knees or at the attachments between the glutes and the hamstrings, then you can extend your knees and lift the kneecaps towards your quadriceps, towards the upper thigh muscle, and hang over your legs. Stay here for another inhale and exhale. Release your hands and roll all the way up, one vertebra at a time. Allow your head to be the last to lift. We can fix our shirt when we get to the top. Inhale, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, back down your spine. Stand tall in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Inhale, lift your arms over your head.
Oh, you know why I didn't want to go upside down.
Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and send your right leg back as you inhale for a low lunge. Keep the back knee lifted. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale forward into your plank. Exhale, drop the knees and lower all the way onto your belly as you bend your elbows. Inhale, lift up for your cobra. Roll the shoulders towards each other and down the spine. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. You can come through a child's pose or onto all four before tucking your toes and sending your hips back if that feels nicer. Inhale, lift your right leg behind you. Exhale, hug your knee towards your chest and step your right foot between your hands. Inhale here, keep the back knee lifted. You can come to your fingertips if you need to. Exhale, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise. Your arms follow. Exhale, dive back down as you fold over your legs. Plant your hands, send your left leg back, inhaling. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale into your plank. Exhale, lowering all the way down. You can drop your knees if you need to. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg behind you. Exhale, hug your knee towards your chest and step the foot through your hands. Inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise as your hands follow. Exhale, take your hands down through heart center. We'll step our left foot back and come into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. So just take a gaze at your feet. Make sure that your right heel dissects the inner arch of your back foot. Beautiful. And ground down on the pinky edge side of your left foot. Straighten your right knee and lift your arms towards the ceiling. Keep this lift here in the side body. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, rebend your right knee. Keep the arms lifting so you don't feel so heavy in your legs. And now release the arms out to the side so that your hands are at shoulder level. Beautiful. Hold here for 3 breaths. Isolate your ribs forward. Flip your palm. Come back into your dancing warrior. Opening all through the right side body. As you inhale, straighten your right knee. Take your hand to your shin. And come into Trikonasana. Stack your shoulders. Using the strength in your legs and your abdominal muscles. Help yourself all the way up. Back into Warrior 2, so you'll re-bend the front knee. Step forward into your Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's step the right leg back now. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Open your arms. Inhale, lift and rise through the side body. Keep the lift as you re-bend the left knee. And I didn't say it for this side, but just double check to make sure that your front heel dissects the inner arch of your back foot. And release your arms to the side so that your wrists are at shoulder level. Breathe here for 3 breaths. Isolate your ribs forward. Flip your palm, come back for your dancing warrior. Stretch all through the left side body here. Inhale, straighten your left knee. Take your hand to your shin. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Again, using the strength in your legs and your abdominal muscles, help yourself all the way back up. Rebend your front knee for Virabhadrasana 2 and spring forward into Tadasana. It's a little tricky. Good job, Banu. Open your feet wider than hips with distance, maybe mats with distance. Take your hands to your hips and then just forward fold over your legs as much as you can. Now bend your knees deeply and see if you can get your fingertips to the floor. 5 minutes. We're gonna wiggle our belly through the top of our thighs. And then as much as you can, sit back for your malasana, your yogic squat pose. Take your elbows in between your thighs and your thighs into your elbows. Hold here for 2 breaths. release your hands to the floor. Take one hand behind you and help yourself onto your seat. Take the soles of your feet together.
Finally, my favorite.
Your favorite, Baddha Konasana. And guess what? That's how we're going to end today. So we'll sit up tall as we inhale. Open your feet like a book. The soles of your feet should open like a book, and notice what happens to your knees. They actually drop out to the side. Sit up tall, and as you exhale, fold over your feet. Inhale and lift. Take your knees together and find a comfortable seat. So just want to take your hands to heart center and thank your body for everything it has done for you and everything it will continue to do for you. I want to thank Banu for having me here today. So thank you so very much.
Pleasure to have you, Gina. I especially like the part, since we have the luxury of a couple of minutes more, I just want to give you some feedback. I especially like the way when we came to my favorite posture, the cobbler, you said open your foot like a book and watch your knee drop down. That was a great tip. It actually worked really well for me.
Good. I'm glad. I like to hear that.
Good. I just wish I could sit longer in that posture. So, Gina, I know we already spoke in the beginning a little bit about you. We didn't get to finish it. I really would like to know. I know you said you were planning to get on Facebook, but is Instagram the only way, or through your website, is the only way people can get in touch with you? Because I know we're going to have your credits up again.
So on my website, there's a contact place at the very bottom when you scroll down, and just to contact, and it sends me an email, and then we can directly exchange.
So guys, if you want to get in touch with Gina, you have her credits right there on the screen on the bottom left. It'll also come up in the rolling credits in just a moment. On behalf of our team, we'd like to thank Gina Benson. Gina, that was an amazing workout. Very simple, very gentle, and thank you right at my level. I appreciate that. I'd like to thank our director, Nuriel Exelazo. Nuriel, thank you so much for flying solo. I really appreciate that you were there today for us. I'd also like to thank Anna Charles, our facilitator, Rich Spezial, our studio manager, who came in pitch hitting in the last moment for us because we had a few problems in the studio, and Rich and Anna figured it out. And Nuriel, you brought an amazingly gentle but very observant guest, Tony. So thank you, Tony, for being there. It's nice to have an audience, even if it's an audience of one. Feels good. So Gina, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. I hope you'll come back and teach next week as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Banu.
Pleasure.